Stephan Soihl. I'm here at Blackfish Gallery on June 19th, 2010. I'm here with my kinetic sculpture. This piece is called Suspended Elements, Tilted Shaft. And it's a kinetic piece. It's moving part of the time and part of the time stationary. Of course, it rotates around, but each one of the elements or arms will be raised or lowered as it's circulating around. The reason for that is because the shaft up above that they're all connected to is tilted with respect to the vertical. The timer allows the motor to receive electricity about for a minute or so, and then also be off for a minute or so. The piece rotates and the arms move up or down, and then the motor shuts off. But the oil that's within each element will seek its own level, will flow because of gravity. For instance, this red one here, you can see how oil is beginning to move down the tubing from the upper volume to the lower volume. And if it were to stop at this point, and ultimately most of the oil would drain out of that upper volume. The stopping and starting, in a sense, there's a little bit of randomness to that. I don't really plan how all that will work out. But at this point, the red now, and this piece of tubing is totally level, so that will continue to drain and fill this lower volume. This piece is called Time Variable Volumes, also the same title as the title of the show. And there are 3 volumes that are connected with the threaded brass fittings, and they're all anchored to the shaft, which comes up out of the base. But the base is tilted up, and consequently the shaft is tilted. Because of that, there would be some flowing of oil back and forth between the volumes, particularly as they stop, as the whole piece stops rotating, and they need to seek their own levels then. This piece too has a timer. It's actually farther away, but it's generally on for about 5 minutes, off for about 5 minutes. The motion is slow. It's kind of it's a quiet motion, but it's a steady motion. And then the shifting of the levels of the oil within each one of the, or let's say within these 2 pyramidal forms. Another nice thing that happens is the cast shadows and various bending of light from the various light sources up above that are made on the space here. This nice flat white surface. So of course, as the piece is in motion, those light interactions with the surface are always varying. Now the piece is just shut off, so there's a stationary pattern of light and dark, shadow and refraction on the surface. And the oil, of course, is kind of sawdust level and is flattened out. This piece is really kind of like an installation. There's 3 separate sculptural configurations on the wall. I call it rotating pyramidal forms. And this sculpture here, of course, has a pyramid and another rectangular volume connecting by tubing. And there's a motor on the other side of the wall, which causes it to rotate. And it actually rotates very slowly. It's a motor running on line voltage, but it's a gear motor. And I've also geared it down some more, so the motion's very slow, which I'm very pleased about. And the whole piece receives electricity and is on for about 5 minutes and then off for about 5 minutes. There's also a light source here, a fairly strong spot that then is focused through the tubing with a lens here, so that the other little pyramidal forms that are rotating cause the light to, cause beams of light to bounce and move on the wall. That's part of the idea of the piece also. So several things going on. You've got this rotating pyramidal forms with the oil, which will then flow down, flow between the two, the pyramid and the rectangular form. They have aluminum structure, aluminum support system, and actually a little motor is right in here, right in there. The wires, of course, go through the wall, and the power supply and timers on the other side of the wall. Each one of these are either a piece of plexiglass that has been cut and milled down, or the red here was a previous casting of polyester resin with dye in it. Pretty soon we're going to have the pieces moving with the light shining on them and turn the overhead light off to see that effect.